Hello, we are live. This is the TCG show, and I'm here with Wavee. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
Busy day yesterday.
Yeah. This is. Did you have off today, or were you working?
So we actually had a holiday today, so I was off, which is nice after shows.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know how I would have been able to function today after yesterday. Yesterday was very busy and exhausting. The place is a lot bigger than the other venue, so it was a lot of running around. I think
I enjoyed that venue. That was the first time being there. It was nice. I like Delta too, but that venue was sweet.
Yeah, it's big, and there's a lot more space to walk around. There's a lot more space to for the vendors too. I mean, we have 140 vendors in that space versus 90 with the two rooms in the Delta. So it's a lot more vendors, a lot more kind of like space between the tables, and a lot more space for people to walk around. So people like it. I like it, but it's also, it's a lot more expensive to have that much space. And then it's also the lighting isn't as great as it is in the Delta. So I have some complaints about that. I think that the parking situation. Yeah. I mean, I guess like when you're outside, like you were closer to the windows. So I think that was, but in the hallway between the two rooms, I don't know. Did you have much time to walk around?
I did a little bit, like in the beginning. But once it gets moving and grooving, you can't leave your table. Your shows are busy. So
yeah, we're very fortunate to have a lot of people that want to see our vendors. I think that because it's TCG only, I think that is a big attraction. I think that the vibes are good. I'm pretty selective about the vendors that come to the shows and who can't come back. I guess I should say who can't come back. And
there's a ban list. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Of course, there's a ban list. I mean, like if you're late, it's like case by case, but like mostly if you're late, and especially if it's your first time, I can't let you come back because there's like
you run a tight ship.
I mean, I have to. There's a lot of vendors, and if you can't like follow simple directions, like know where your spot is, or like or come on time, then if I can't trust you with like all of these people that are coming in and going to be spending money. Like I want my repeat customers. So I want to be able to trust them.
I've always told you that I appreciate the strictness of it.
Yeah.
And the boundaries you place are nice, because there's some shows that you go to and you buy a couple tables as a vendor and that's it. There's no communication after that. And you just show up like, well, I just know this Instagram name. I don't know who runs the show, what he looks like, with Vice. Like, it's crazy. So when we started doing NJTCG, it was like a breath of fresh air. I was excited to have some structure, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm glad that you appreciate it. Some people are like, you're too strict, or like you like. I mean, like there's a guy that says like, oh well, Collecticon lets me just do whatever I want. I mean, like, well, I mean, I'm glad that you're so great and like Collecticon is working for you. Then you don't need me. I mean, like if you want to go to Collecticon every single week, like go for it. Like you don't need me. We don't need to work together.
We just did Atlanta, and if I didn't have buddies there, because that was my first time at a Collecticon vending. If I didn't have buddies there, I would have been lost. I mean, front, back, there's side entrances. People are coming in from the loading dock. You could drive in there. I didn't know that. Like, there's so much to it. So I like
drive
structure.
Inside Collecticon?
I pulled my Uber into the building, got out of the Uber, walked through one doorway, which was wide open. I was in the building. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Where were you in Collecticon? Were you like the front, the middle, because I talked to one guy that said he was in the back and it wasn't a great time. I talked to someone who was in a premium spot and he had a great time. So where were you?
So we were, all right. I went to purchase tickets like early. The second they went up, they sold out within minutes. I was like, what the heck? So I posted on my Instagram and a buddy hit me up. He does like mixed TCG / like like some anime stuff, photos, and things of that nature. So I think what Collecticon tries to do is put them in the back. So like when I shared a table with him, we were more towards the back of the room. And I do think that hurt sales a little bit for me. He was moving and grooving, but I think like you got to go past a lot of heavy hitters before you make it to the back. So if you were selling TCG products in the back, I don't think you had the best show. I know it was fun. It was great experience, and we made some sales, but I've been to some Collecticons. I've seen the madness, Orlando, Jersey, Edison, and I don't think Atlanta met the hype too much, but
do you plan on going to any more?
Oh, for sure. I'm going to go to Atlanta. I'm definitely doing both Jersey ones. Hopefully you guys will be there too. Cause it's an experience. Collecticon's fun. But I probably won't, like I was contemplating flying out to Texas, but I don't know if it's worth it anymore with, you got to buy hotel rooms for a couple days, food for a couple nights. And then the plane tickets are crazy out of, Philadelphia is where we fly out of. So it can be costly.
You think that you'll go back to Atlanta, or is Atlanta is it going to have a second date in Atlanta, or was it just
I think there is a second date, but I won't be going to it. No, I can't, take that risk again.
You think that what you did in Collecticon was comparable to what you did yesterday?
No.
So Collecticon was a lot more?
No, as in NJTCG show was better. It was just better. I was talking to dudes about it in Atlanta. I was like, hey, like, does it make much sense for us to even fly out here? I mean, really?
Yeah, I really think that the Jersey scene is really strong. And I don't know if it's just because of the market, or is it just the area we're in, or is it the marketing? Is it, I mean, like there's a lot of really good things going right now that are bringing a lot of people to the shows. And I don't know if last year it was like just not as strong of a market there. We were just kind of starting out. So and Collecticon was so new last year. So going into Jersey Collecticon, when this is the first time it's ever been here, it was kind of like even more hyped. So I'm not sure. And like also social media, I think that has a lot to do with it. A lot of our vendors, including you, have a huge social media platform. So they have people that come to the shows that are looking for you. Right. So I think that has a huge part of it, because like there's certain vendors, they had a little downtime, they had a little break, but there's people like you and Joey, it was all day long. It was just like going. It was people like just like swarming your tables, talking to you.
A lot of repeat customers, for sure. We got a good community in Jersey, especially North Jersey. And to be honest, there's a lot, like your last show in January, PokeRev shows up. He's got a posse of 30 people following him, like, and people, they want to come see the influencers in the hobby, especially PokeRev. I mean, the Cool Trainer Ryan was there. I've seen Don Diego come through. Like there's some good streamers that come, and you're good at marketing, and the market's on fire right now for TCGs all over. So it's like the perfect storm for growth for everyone, including yourself, myself, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the influencers were kind of like it was a completely organic thing, or at least like with Ryan and Rev coming in, because Ryan's girlfriend, who I've become very friendly with, like she saw an ad. And
oh, really?
Yeah. She saw an Instagram ad, and she kind of Googled how far it was going to be, and it was about an hour from where they were staying. So they took the ride. And Ryan and Jenny really liked it, and we were really friendly, and it was kind of like a good vibe for them. So they came back again, and same thing. And then they came back again. I was just like, this is crazy. Like the second time that they came, they also came with Vol. And then also it was kind of a little more publicized that he was coming. And so a lot of other influencers came, and that was our first Bridgewater show. And, once people hear that influencers are coming, then more influencers kind of like come out, and they're like, okay, let's see what's going on. And a lot of them post about it. So that was cool. And it was also, it kind of gave me a glimpse of like like the influencer kind of like the culture. And it was something that I still don't really, I was like, it blows my mind a lot, like a lot of it. Cause I'm just like, like you want to be friendly and nice to people, but you also, I don't necessarily want to just, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of like, I'm going to do this for you and you're going to do this for me, or you're going to do this for me. I don't know. I've never been that type of person. So it's something that I'm kind of like trying to navigate how much of being a part of an online community and having a social media platform, how much does that have to do with your following at coming to shows? Do you think that it has a big influence?
To be honest, and you can probably tell from the short time we've met, I'm heavy on social media. I mean, that's the way we market. That's where people are going to find out where we're going, what products we have, and the other thing is like to create relationships on social media is so easy. It's so organic. And, we're all just nerds collecting Pokemon cards. So for me, it's a good place to tap in. I've met a lot of cool people, yourself included, through social media. And I do think there's a direct correlation between people that take their social media serious and don't with sales. So, and it's something that it plays a big role for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't realize like when I post something, or I don't think that I'm like anyone's even paying attention. To be honest with you.
Oh, but they are though. You have a couple thousand followers, and they are watching. They are.
I'm like in my head, I'm just posting this out there, and no one's gonna look at it, or no one cares, or whatever, right? So then, but like I saw it happening when I posted that I was gonna be at the show, and it was a very small show. And someone came up to me that I know from going to shows, and they said, "I'm here because you posted about it." And I was like, "Oh, wow, okay." Yeah. I'm like,
but then like it happens. People watch. Even if they're not engaging, they're always watching.
Right.
People will come up to my table and be like, because I'll use social media for whatever comes to my mind. If I think content just for fun, I'll post it, and they'll be talking to me about things I posted, and I forget about it. They're talking about dinner I had last week and I'm like, what are you talking about? How do you know that? But I forget. I post stuff on social media, so like, I think it's huge. I mean, it's super. If you're running a business or a brand and you're trying to grow, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, every platform that you can touch at one time, you got to.
Yeah, and it's so funny that you say that, because like when you went to Disney with your wife, I felt so weird saying it to you, because it was the first time when we met at Woodbridge. I was like, I was at Disney with you, and I was like, I went on the food tour, and then I was going on all the rides, and I was like, oh my God, Marilyn, just shut up.
I'll pull my phone out on a roller coaster and be like, like I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, like it's
just
fun.
Be personable.
Yeah.
Be personable. I'm a normal human. I'm not here just black and white. I'm here for Pokemon only. Like, this is my life. This is where I'm living. And some people like to watch it. Some don't. Whatever.
Right.
It's fun.
No, you're exactly right. Like people could just like skip. I mean, like if you're sick of me like mispronouncing the name of the Pokemon, like you don't have to watch it. I mean, if you're just here for the show dates, I mean, like you could be here for the show dates. If you want to see me open baby Pokemon, that's cool too. Like I had a couple people come up to me at the show, and they were like, "Oh, are you selling those baby Pokemon?" And I'm like I didn't. I was like, no, I don't have a table. But they were like, where can I find the baby Pokemon? Because have you seen the Eve baby Pokemon cards that
I saw what you were posting, but I haven't really done much research into it.
Yeah. Well, there are these little Chinese Pokemon cards. They come 30 in a box, and they're like, they're really fun. They're not authentic Pokemon, but they have the Pokemon on them, and they're just all very cute baby like Pokemon. So yeah, they're just something fun. A lot of people like them. They're cheap, like relatively cheap right now, because everything's so expensive. But yeah, a couple of the vendors had them yesterday, so they were selling.
You're an influencer now, so get used to it.
I mean, like I tell people all the time, I'm just a nurse that likes to throw a party. I mean, like I didn't intend for any of this to go this way, but I'm really, really happy it is, because it's a community that I didn't know I would be a part of. And I'm so, so grateful for them, because like I've met such amazing, beautiful, smart, just like people that are like just wonderful, wonderful people from doing the shows. So what got you started in vending?
So vending specifically, I just ended up falling across like Bulbasaur's videos online.
Mm-hmm.
And then my entrepreneur brain just started, going from there. I was already into Pokemon pretty much my whole life. I mean, I have the same story. You start when you're a kid, you play the video games, you collect, you staple your Charizard, and then, forget about it for, 20 years. And then when you get a big boy job and start getting some throwaway money, you go and, make your wife angry and spend a lot of money on Pokemon. That's kind of what it was. We did live streaming in the end of 2019 into 2020. I started up the YouTube, the Instagram, and everything, and created Wavee. But vending wise, that was a couple years after doing live streaming. So a bunch of like probably people in the chat now and stuff I've known for 4 or 5 years. And I've ran this Instagram this whole time, but vending specifically was probably towards the middle of 2024. It was kind of recent. Yeah.
What was your first show?
It was a Woodbridge show last year. It was a Woodbridge show, and then your guys' show, and just went pretty much just stick to Woodbridge and NJTCG, and then my first Collecticon was Atlanta.
Wow.
As a vendor.
So you're like new. You're fairly new into vending. Is it?
I'm new to vending for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's shocking to me, because you seem very comfortable.
The live streaming helped a lot. Because I was ripping packs and selling cards online, doing whatnot too as well. Like, so the Pokemon universe is not new to me. I've been deeply entrenched in buying and grading and everything like for years, at least 5 years now, like pretty almost daily. So, but yeah, the vending, I'm a connoisseur of the content. So I watch all Bulbasaur's videos, flipping cardboard, Ditto dudes. Like I was watching these guys pretty much like studying, taking notes, because that's how I am. And then when I really made the decision to go into vending, it wasn't hard, because like my inventory was already huge from the last couple of years. I didn't have to go out and buy, and I kind of took my notes on these YouTube platforms and other streamers, and it was easy just to make the transition for me.
Wow, you really went hard. I mean, like you got you were all branded out for like your very first shows. Like that's over the last year, it's been just to see people try to build their brands, like go from like having a sign or a tablecloth or everything. You had the whole Kanye.
Yeah,
a sign.
He's canceled now, by the way. But we have to do a small rebranding now, because he's horrible. But it's okay.
I mean, like that was the thing when I first saw your sign. I was like, this guy likes Kanye too, but like we're not allowed to like him anymore. I mean, I was like, oh, it sucks. I mean, like I mean, not that we're not allowed to like him. We don't like him anymore. He's a bad person. I mean,
he's crazy.
Like we don't like anything about him.
I made the Kanye sign and everything. I made that a couple years ago, holding the logo or whatever. And I was like, it turns heads. It's just my brain works in marketing 24/7. Like I'm just thinking of ideas of what's going to get a click or something. Not, trying not to be in a corny way or anything like that. But I do think about things, and Kanye, that was perfect, because at the time, people still love Kanye, but after the Super Bowl in this last year, he's done for.
Yeah. Where do you see Pokemon vending going in the future?
I mean, here's the thing. How I view, at least with the content creators, I think that there's a lot of room to grow. It's fairly new. And I think there's a bunch of different avenues and ways that you can attack it, because you know, a lot of the big guys, they're not big on editing. They're not big on much of anything. They kind of just post raw content with short clips here and there, and it is what it is. I think there's a lot of room for creativity and growth, and I think the hobby, I mean, it's not going anywhere. 30th anniversary is next year. I think we're going to be in for a ride here for the next, you know, probably 18 months to 24 months of like hardcore fire market. But vending, I think, is still on the up and up. Shows are on the up and up, you know, and the youth is in the Pokemon. Yeah, I go to Target and a kid's telling his dad last week like about these new Pokemon and stuff, and I'm like, there it is right there. That kid is going to have expendable money in 20 years and want to collect what they're super excited about right now in Target. So I don't see it going anywhere.
Yeah, that's my husband owns a store, and I spend a lot of time in there, especially since there's been so much growth, especially on the weekends. And when I'm not working, I'm in the store, kind of like helping out and just like throwing binders on the counter and stuff like that, and bringing people up because it's just so busy. And it's tons of people that are around my age or a little younger that have kids that are like 7 to 12, 15, and everyone's into Pokemon. And everyone walks into the store and say, I was into this, and I had this Bulbasaur and this Charizard and this Blastoise and whatever. And then it's something that they bond with their kids. And then, you know, it's just like 2 generations of people who are just like buying and trading Pokemon. And it's really nice to see. I mean, like to see that the families are connecting this way, and then people are able to come to the store and then talk about Pokemon and then go to the shows. And it's been really, really cool to see people just say like, oh, it's my first time in a card store. Oh, it's my first time going to a card show. And it's amazing to me when people go to the card show and they've seen you or seen Joey or seen one of the other guys on social media, and they're just meeting them for the first time. That I think is just like full circle moments and very, really exciting. And then you guys being who you are just makes them want to come back. I mean, like it's not a scary time going into this massive hotel with 140 vendors with 1,000 people walking around.
Can be overwhelming.
It's not as intense as going to Collecticon, but going into a venue where there's people like buying and selling all over the place, and you don't know who this guy is, and is he going to try and rip you off, or is what I have to trade good enough to sell to this person? But having you're a nice guy, you're someone you could talk to, you could shoot the shit with someone, and it's not a scary experience. And I'm really grateful for vendors like you and the other guys that are putting themselves out there on social media, just because like it's not making this experience of going into a card show like, you know, going into a basement of a church and everyone's grumpy and, you know, like not making eye contact. You know, it's very engaging and it's
that's
fun.
Important. It's important. I tell my guys that come up and help me, I say, look, we're going to be standing 95% of the day, and I want you standing. You know, I want to look presentable, and we're accepting everyone to our table with the same attitude. And if you ask them, there are probably some in the chat right now. Like, I try to run a tight ship too, because perception is everything. And you can tell, you know, the vendors that, you know, present themselves properly and the ones they don't, and you can see a difference.
Yeah, for sure. When people are, they're building their brand or attempting to build their brand, and they're having signs, and they're having people are wearing their shirts or just wearing like, not like, you know, exactly like you said, presentable, when they're doing better. I mean, like it's, you know, it's not that you have to have like everything out, like all branded out, but like you have to be engaging. You have to be standing. Like if you're sitting there on your phone the whole time, no, people are going to walk past your table.
It's just hard. It's hard to come up to a table if someone's looking down and not paying attention to you. And, you know, if you're potentially wanting to spend money with them, it could leave a sour taste in their mouth. And, you know, you're right. It's all about presentation and being inviting.
Right. And the amount of money that comes into these shows,
crazy. I'm still trying to explain to my parents, like, they don't understand. You can walk into a building and there's millions and millions of dollars worth of cardboard. Like they don't get it. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's something they look at it like the Beanie Baby craze back in the day. Like it's a lot stronger than that. It's solidified, and especially if you go to Collecticon, you can go to a guy like Pokemon Network. He's got 5 million on his table.
Yeah,
easily. It's crazy.
Yeah, yesterday we had some very, very high end deals go, and I was just like going in and seeing these cards with the price tags on them in the beginning of the day, and then they were gone. And I asked the vendors, like, what did you get for that? Like, did you get it? Was it a trade? Was it cash? A lot of people got cash. And I'm just, are you ever like doing like a huge deal with cash and you're scared to like walk out of the building with that much money?
Wave and his crew move very militant. We'll just say that. All right. We'll just say that. We'll leave it at that. We probably don't want to try to rob us.
Right.
We are very aware. We're very aware because it just happened in Philly. You know, people are waiting in parking lots and doing some grimy stuff. So when I hear stories like that, we move a certain type of way, and I'm always 4 or 5 people deep, and vehicle placement, all this stuff. It sounds crazy for the average person to hear me say this, but it happens, and you are targeted. And when people find out, like, you know, it could become a thing. So we just try to be safe. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, even like with we accept a lot of electronic payments at the front, but like with like the cash handling, we're very aware of like what's going in and what's coming out and who's around and who's watching and who's, you know, watching it at the end of the night and where it is and what's going on, because we want to make sure that everyone's safe.
You gotta be smart. Mm-hmm. You gotta be smart because, you know, there's some people out there that don't care about the hard work you put in or the money you put in or how it can ruin your life. They don't care. So
I mean, like you see the terrible videos of people like smashing through like
someone drove a car through a store last week.
Right.
A whole car just straight through.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. I mean, like I just, when I think about it, I'm just like, it is a lot of money, but also like, you want to go to prison? Like, you know, like I mean, like you want to go to prison for that. And with a lot of these slabs, I mean, like we have certs for them. Like they're not like
there's so many ways to get caught that criminals don't understand. They're like, see someone, you know, sell a $20,000 car. They're like, oh, he's got the cash on him, but there's 60 cameras around the hotel. And, you know, they always end up getting caught. And, you know, a lot of the times the stores have insurance and the vendors have ways to get their money back, but it's still, we try to move a certain way and stay safe out there.
And the cameras everywhere. I had a friend come to the show yesterday and she was like, I didn't realize that everyone had cameras. I said, everyone has cameras. They do it for
Theft
content.
And they do it.
They do it for content, and they also do it for safety and security. You have to, I mean, it could be something as simple as putting your bag down and leaving it and then it's not there anymore, or it could be someone going into your binder and stealing a $300 card. I mean, that
happened yesterday.
Exactly. I mean, like it's wild to me that people could see the cameras and they
look straight at them as they put the card in their pocket.
Yeah. They like, what are your thoughts on that? Did you watch the video? Did you see the statement? Or what are your thoughts?
So, I mean, my thoughts is that guy can never come back.
No, never.
I mean, they handled it.
I mean, New Jersey.
They handled it gracefully.
He's not coming back.
They handled it gracefully. That was an expensive card too. That's crazy. We try not to put anything over like $40 in binders because that's the easiest way to, you know, someone to slip a card away if you're not being serious. I mean, with our table, I have a buddy that, you know, will sit there and stare at every single movement at the binders because that's, you know, no one's going to lift up a case and go in with us standing there, but the binders are tough. That guy's pretty scummy for that. And unfortunately, it happens every show. And if you're not paying attention, you turn your back, people will 5-finger discount. It's horrible.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why you would try and like I don't know. I
He
don't think
looked
that I would.
directly in the camera as he was putting the card in his pocket. If anyone's live and doesn't know what we're talking about, go to Ditto Bro on Instagram and look at the video from yesterday's show. Someone stole a Magikarp, an English Magikarp. It's like $250 raw, $300 raw, and he stared at the camera as he took it out of the binder and put it in his pocket. It's insane. And
Like,
Ditto Bro was pretty like calm about it when he knew the guy was looking at the card. So when he turned around from what he was doing, he flipped right to that page and pointed to it, was like, "Where's my card?" and got it back immediately. But thank God he was paying attention, because he might have missed it, or he wouldn't have found it until after the show. And then good luck trying to identify that guy, you know?
yeah, I mean, like that was the other thing about identifying the guy, is that the guy was he stood out because I had an encounter with him. He said something kind of smart to me, and like he wasn't someone that was trying to be under the radar. So
Right.
that's something that I was like if you're going to be someone that's like so brazen and steal something like that, like I mean, me personally, if I'm also not someone that does things like this, but I think that I would be like a slip in, slip out kind of person. I wouldn't be like someone who is like gregarious and like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like me.
Criminals aren't smart for the most part.
Right.
We got that going for us.
Yeah, right.
If you're stealing in the first place, you're probably not the brightest bulb, but.
Yeah, I mean, like so with binders, you say you don't put anything over like $40. Do you put price tags on your binder cards?
Yeah, I try to price everything out within 24 hours to 48 hours of the show. Everything that includes down to a $2 card.
Wow. So you're up all night the night before the show? Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's every show too, even if they're 2 weeks apart, because the market fluctuates so much. You know, it's not just showing up to a show. You know, there's a lot of preparation and planning that go into even booking tables, figuring out your schedule, pricing out cards. You know, it's crazy. Travel.
Yeah, the book and the tables. I mean, like right now I've been completely flooded from yesterday afternoon, since like right coming on here, people saying like when's May opening up, and people who aren't vendors, they're like, oh wow, it's February 17th. Like what? Like why are you thinking about May? It's like I'm thinking about May. People are talking about August. They're ready to book because they want those tables. And I don't want to say every single, but like I would say 30, 40, 50% of the vendors that were there yesterday want a second table. Where am I getting them
2
from?
tables is the minimum for me.
Where am I getting? I can't get the tables anywhere. I can't make more space. And 140 tables and 20,000 square feet is a lot of space. But for me to like jam some more tables in there, I don't know if I could. And I want everyone to have that.
You're gonna be expanding faster than you ever thought you were gonna expand.
That's
what's gonna happen.
I like you, but also
it's
like
a good problem.
No, it's a good problem, but it's also like I have a full-time job, and it's a lot of work that goes into these shows. And I think that people who have popped up little shows here and there, they think that it's easier than it actually is. And I'm doing them way more frequently than I ever have. And although I really love it, I love the vendors, I love the attendees, I really love what I do. It's a ton of work, and I want to make sure that the attendance is up, and I want to make sure that I'm marketing right. And I'm like, this is the quickest that I'm having a turnaround of a show, the 3 weeks. And I'm like, I hope we could swing it. I really hope that we could keep it up.
March 8th.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah.
Yeah. People say 2 weeks.
Busy.
I'm like, it's not 2 weeks. It's
going to be busy.
6 days. It's like, I hope it's going to be busy. It's we've expanded into an additional room. So it's going to be 3 rooms and 120.
This is at Delta tables. Or the same Delta?
To Delta.
Okay.
So it's the same hotel we were in a month and a half ago. it's 121 tables, possibly 123 tables, and it's a lot of new vendors are coming, and they all want tables, and they want to squeeze people who have been here a while out. They're asking me to open up tables over market, and I'm just like, that's not how it works. Like, I can't just create space.
There's people that travel the Collecticon circuit, the bigger vendors, some of them that I know and talk to. When I was in Atlanta and we were talking about the NJ scene, and they're like, I've been watching it, I got to get out there to a show. And I'm like, just wait, you're going to have some heavy hitters coming to NJ TCG show shortly. I was talking to Metakai about it. He was like, I heard Jersey's the spot to be. I'm going to have to come out. And I'm like, once these people start coming, Maryland's going to have to.
Well, this is the thing. There's no tables for them. I mean, like, there was, I had a very big YouTuber personality reach out to one of the other YouTuber people that come to the shows and say, I want a table. And like, I'm not going to kick someone out that's been waiting for this table for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 months.
Right.
You know, like I just can't do it. And like, if someone's like, no, but this person, I mean, like, I also don't want like someone that paid for their table to give up their table for this person. I don't think that's right. No.
No,
we'll
but
see.
the influencers understand how it works. You got to book ahead of time. So if they want to come to NJ TCG, make the trip, you got to book a couple months ahead of time.
I mean, like I do have a spot that, or like I have a spot in the front that I've kind of like reserved for people who are coming from out of state. That I had people that are coming from Florida, some people coming from Virginia. Like this is the thing that I can't quite understand, that like I had people that came yesterday on a Sunday for 1 day show, people that came from Virginia, Maryland, Massachusetts, New York, Western Pennsylvania, just like insane distances to come to the show. And I just like, it blows my mind. And all of these out of state people are like, I need to come back. I want 2 more tables. Like I've never been anything like this. And I like, you know, like I am very like, I'm kind of like speechless over it. 'Cause like, thank you. I'm very grateful that people want to come back, but also like, I don't know what it's like to be a part of a show anywhere else. So have you been to shows in any other places other than Collecticon? Have you done like a Delaware show or a Pennsylvania show?
No. Collecticon I've been going to for the past like 3 years, maybe 4. We usually fly down to Orlando, hit Disney, go to Collecticon, or we'll hit the Jersey show. We did that last year. That was fun. But usually it's Orlando that we go to. Besides that, I haven't not really, no. The show scene is new for me, and it's awesome. I do think, too, like, it might be foreign to you to, like, understand why people will travel, but, like, this shows and Pokemon in general, like, for me, it's an escape from the real world. So, like, you know, people tend to fall onto that pretty heavy, like, you know, it's fun for them, and it's a getaway, it's a vacation, it's whatever they want it to be, cosplay, this and that. So, you know, for you it might be, you know, your little stressful business or whatever, but for someone else it could be like it could be, you know, their getaway, their clearing of the head. So
no, I like hearing from the vendors and that they're having a good time, and seeing some of the vendors like in their element is just it's so nice to me to see them kind of like vibing with people. And you know, I don't know if I could coin flip for like is it going to be $300 or is it going to be $200? I'm not much of a gambler.
I lose all my coin flips. So
I saw you lost like 5 yesterday. I was like,
I got killed yesterday. I was like 2 for 8 or something horrible. But luckily, one guy wanted to flip like $1,100 for a Moonbreon PSA 10 or 3K. And I'm like, dude, you got a problem. You need to sign up on one of those lists. Like, I freak out if I lose $10.
Did you have the moon around or did he?
He had it. I was like walking my way out and I was like, 2,200 cash. I got it right here. And he wanted to do a coin flip. I'm like, no way. No way.
What, do you have anything left from yesterday? Did you get to buy or are you sold out? What, you have a lot of inventory?
A lot of buying opportunities come through the table, you know, even with trading. So we did pretty good. We spent a couple $1,000s buying yesterday. We have some inventory for March, so I'm not too worried about it. I did have after your show in January, I had to go to Liquid Games show as just buy a ticket and go and buy because I was wiped out. I was wiped out. But we're doing okay. I'm learning how to, my first couple shows, I was trying to kind of figure out how to sell properly and how I wanted to be, where my margins were, get quicker with the math, the process to it. So now that I'm getting better with that, I'm finding myself being able to work deals / price cards / give kids free cards and stickers, the whole, so as the team gets better, we're becoming more efficient to, actually buy and sell at the same time, which is cool.
How many people do you have working with you?
I usually bring 2 people with me if I'm running 2 tables, but I do content as well. So my one guy, Zeb, he's like filming me on big deals / like helping price out stuff. And then my other guy, Mark, he's down by the binders, or I'll bring my little brother, my nephew, whatever, a couple other buddies that want to show up to a show. And that's probably like 2 to 4 of us, depending on who wants to come.
What's the best kind of customer that you have coming to your table?
I love my repeat customers because now, it's jokes. It's fun. They show up. They're showing me the stuff they picked up. Like, I'm getting hyped. There's this group of guys that come. I think the first show they showed up, they were wasted. I have no idea, but they were hilarious. There was like 7 of them, and they were ripping packs at buying packs, ripping them, getting hits, like then moving around the show, trying to trade them and moving the stuff. So now watching them.
Did they come to the Delta? Was that at the Delta?
They were at all your shows that I've been to. They were at a Woodbridge show. Like, I've been seeing them around, and they always come to say what's up or buy something or whatever. And they're new to the hobby. So like for me, I'm like watching the addiction really creep in on these guys and how they're building it's just hilarious to me. Like watching the whole, I like repeat customers. I really do. Cause not for nothing. Like it's nice to see a familiar face sometimes when you're at these shows. It's a lot of new people. So.
Yeah, it's funny you said that they were wasted because the bar is open at the.
Oh, I know.
At the Delta.
I know the bar is open at the hotel. People get tuned up.
Yeah. I did not experience it quite as much as when we were at the Delta in January. What's it, January? Yeah, it must have. Yeah, because we're in February now. In January, people were getting lit. It was an interesting experience. I like ran out to the bathroom and I was like, oh my God, the bar was jammed and they're just coming in and out of the show. And I'm like,
until
wow.
your 2-day show in April because people are going to be getting rooms right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
They're getting rooms there.
Yeah. I had a couple of people reach out to me yesterday looking for the link for the rooms. So it's going to be fun, and we're going to have a trade night at the bar at between the 2 shows. So it's going to be fun.
Their bar's nice there too. It's a nice setup. Delta Hotel's sweet.
Yeah, it's big. So it's or the bar area is really big. Chat.
LFG's in the chat. Oh, I'm seeing everyone's name now. I didn't know you could scroll over to comments. I could see the live chat now.
Yeah.
What up, gang? What's your favorite drink, Mike? Water, lemon water. Sorry, I just saw all the names.
Now you're excited. That's good. What have you ever done a podcast before? Are you?
So I used to do music. So like I'm kind of familiar with the podcast and stuff of that nature. When I was a young degenerate, we used to make rap music and stuff. So. We did a bunch of shows and all that good stuff. So I'm kind of like, I'm not shy of the camera anymore. I used to be, I'm really not. Now I kind of, and then with live streaming, like engaging with chat and everything, it just comes hand in hand now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you live far away from Bridgewater, right? You live like over 2.5 hours away.
2-hour drive.
What's that like?
5:30 in the morning. Gotta take off 5:30 in the morning. Stop for gas halfway up. Like, yeah. It's nice though, because we just throw on like a Pokey Beard podcast or something, or maybe your podcast, and just try to battle sleep and not crash and die on the way up. But
Pokey Beard, yeah, I spoke to him not too long ago about possibly doing a show out in Minnesota. Yeah,
nice.
Where yeah, I mean, like it's interesting that the people who you think that are kind of like, I don't want to say above you, but like too busy, right? Because they have a huge audience or something like that. But then you just reach out to them and you're like, whoa, they responded.
You know what? He seems like a pretty cool guy. I've never talked to him, but I watch literally every morning of my life. If he posts a video, I watch it on my way to work.
Yeah, me too. I work from home and I pop something on and I'm watching it while I'm getting ready in the dog and everything. Like me and the dog watch it in the morning. And that's kind of how I know what's going on with the Pokemon market. I mean, like it's all kind of it is very new. I'll be the first person to tell you that I when I first started doing the shows, I knew nothing about Pokemon. I'm just starting to kind of really get into it to understand what's going on. So when someone's talking to me, I'm just not like completely a deer in headlights. But because I've just like you, I'm into marketing. I'm a person that likes to make money. And I'm not saying not saying that that's my primary motivation, especially now that I've made so many friends and made so many connections, and I really, really enjoy what I do. But seeing what you can do with a business is very intriguing to me. Like to see like how it's grown. Right.
Money. You gotta make money. You gotta the cards are like 10x what they used to be. If you want to rip packs and have fun and enjoy the hobby, you got to make a little bit of money. So vending's fun. When I was live streaming, like I always said this to people, I was like, I just was selling packs to fund my pack addiction. Like, and it's kind of the same thing. Now, like the cards I'm getting from shows are like the cards that I love and I like. Because I'm gonna say this, hands down, if I and my friends can vouch for me, the second the vibe is gone, I quit. I'm done. I'm out. So for me, as long as this continues to be fun, the money side is cool and all, but as long as it continues to be fun for me, I'll be here. Yo, what up, Tort? Shouts out to Personal Pokédex, legends in the game, 12 to 15 years into it. Oh God, chat's going crazy.
I started getting high on my own supply, right? Like I was.
Oh yeah.
I would sit here or I would be somewhere in the I'm in my husband's warehouse, but right to the right of me, there's the 500 counts and they're all filled with packs. And like this, I can't see it. This used to be
rip them
full.
all.
And now if I'm sitting here not doing anything, I started Crown Zenith. A year and a half ago, is it Zenith, whatever. I had no interest in it, and then I started opening.
Such
packs,
a great set.
Now I can't stop because I like hits, right? Who doesn't like hits? And that's
right.
I mean, like even if it's something shiny and it's worth 50 cents, I'm excited over it because it's a hit in my head. But yeah, I especially now that the packs are getting a little more expensive. Of course, that's what I want.
Chat's telling you to rip a pack.
All right, fine.
Chat's telling you to rip a pack. Peer pressure, chat.
I know, right? One. Right. I mean, like if Rob's watching this, he's gonna be pissed at me because I mean, like I of course then I started opening up my Sea and Sky investments because now I have to do
investments.
Now. Because now I need to do a master set. I'm crazy, and I'm like I don't know why. I mean, because it's fun.
Cards right now.
I'm like, I'm like, oh,
Oh
I
my
got
gosh.
nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
have a B.
It's a
This isn't gonna.
Dudley. It's a Dudley.
This.
We call them Dudleys in the live stream.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That whack pack. That's
whack pack.
my partner Andrew calls them whack pack. So then I'm like, oh well, I guess I got to do another one because they're sitting here,
That's
right?
how it gets. That's how it gets.
I'm getting high on my own supply, and then
It's like
I'll be
heroin.
mad.
It's horrible.
No, I don't. So you have a minimum of 2 tables. And you're mostly cases. What is the lowest card that you have? Are you like 50 cents, $1? And then what do you go all the way up to?
My binders, I'll have a binder that can have cards as low as like $2. Mainly if it's in my case, it's a PSA slab most likely, ranging from, probably 4,000 right now to, I try not to put slabs out under $25. So it'll range from there, but I like to stay in that like $50 range. The bulk of my cases are like the $50 range, PSA 10 cards to, like I like the sweet spots around 1,000. That's like the majority of my case. And then the binders, I try to divvy them out like a modern hits binder, a vintage binder, a baby shiny binder, character rare binder. And I try to keep it easy for the people. So if they're looking for something, because people come in and they're looking for specific items, they have their lists, they're prepared, so I can send them exactly where they need to be. My buddies from the personal Pokédex, Al Hill and Tort, they've been like getting on me pretty heavy to start doing singles more. I'm a slab guy. I love slabs. I just love the grade. So it was natural for me to move in and just be a like strictly slabs guy. But I did buy a lot of singles yesterday, so maybe I'll start honing in a little more on the raw market. But yeah, I try to cover all, that I can price wise on my tables.
Do you send in cards for PSA and CGC, or are you into tag now? Are you a tag guy?
I'll say this: tag looks amazing, but I've been in the hobby now for 5 years. I've seen, 3 or 4 new, the hot AI grading, whatever this what they're trying to market, and they failed. And the people that put their money into those companies that grade, they got to crack them all, resubmit them with PSA or BGS. CGC is still around, but I've never really truly been a fan. I've never shipped to them. I'm like strictly PSA. But tag's cool. I like tag. And if you get a tag card back and say it's a pack fresh card and it comes back a 7, they will show you with pictures in detail why the card is what it is. PSA doesn't do that. If you send out a pack fresh card you think is going to get a 10 and it comes back a 6, you're like, what the F? And there's no communication to why that card got what it is. Like, I have a card that was shipped out 5 times. I crack it, ship it, crack it, ship it, crack it, ship it. Finally got a 10. Why? So there is, the flaws to PSA. But I just always like the way they look. BGS, I feel like you could cut your wrist with. Like, they're real sharp and bulky. I've never been into Beckett. And CGC, when they first came out years ago, the blue labels I wasn't into. I kind of do like the new slab that they make now, but I'm a PSA guy. Chat saying.
Are you do you want like only 10s? Do you only have 10s in your case?
For the most part, I'll only purchase 10s. They sell the best. 9s are kind of hard to move. I'll take in super high end 9s though, and vintage 9s. I'll take like first edition vintage hollows. I'll take in 9s. But they are harder to move. Back in the day, a couple years ago, there was a premium on a 9. If you shipped out, it wasn't the same price as raw. You would have a little bit of equity in a 9. But the way the market is now, if you get a 9, you might as well crack it and sell it raw. Honestly.
What frustrates you the most about the market, other than the prices fluctuating? Right?
It frustrates me. I'll say that here it is. Prismatic Evolutions came out. I'm like, Evolving Skies 2.0. I'm an Evolution guy, so I was excited to rip it. And it's like, how can you rip $15 packs? Like, it's the business side of you battles with the fan of Pokemon, because every set that's came out in the last 5 years, I've probably ripped a case at least, like hundreds and hundreds of packs, like just for me, because I like to rip cards. That's the most frustrating part. It's becoming difficult to rip packs, and I'm a ripper. Like, I love to rip packs, so that's been tough. But I mean, with every negative comes a few positives, so I'm not gonna be one of these Karens that posts up YouTube videos about the market. Like, I was getting death threats when I posted my pre-orders that came in for freaking Prismatic. People are nuts. So I'm kind of not too into like the new hype around the hobby. Like, it was the same way with when COVID came around. It was like a bunch of people that don't know what they're talking about, that think they're going to become millionaires, and then they buy up the market. And then all the people that can't get their hands on it, that want to get into the hobby, they become irate and crazy and social media warriors. So that's not too fun either. But
yeah. The social media warriors and the canceling and going into GameStop and
oh yeah. Walmart just canceled 12 things I pre-ordered. I'm like, what is going on? Like, probably
cancel Walmart.
Buddy. Yeah, we got to cancel Walmart, I think, if we can. I don't know if we have that reach yet, but
yeah, I don't think so. I mean, they'll find a way to cancel me for sure before I even get close to canceling them.
Yeah, they got money for that.
Yeah. So can you see yourself doing this full time?
I talk about it all the time. My buddy Al Hill, he's full time doing cards. Their business is sick, so I pick his brain all the time. I have a really good full time job. I like my salary and the time that I get off. You know, they give me a lot of time off a year, so I'm able to travel and do shows on the weekends like pretty easily. If I travel out of state, you know, I have enough vacation time, PTO time, all that good stuff, like where I can still, you know, do my full-time job and do shows. And that's probably what I'm going to continue to do. I don't see myself, you know, quitting my job unless I end up like Bulbasaur and making $30K a show, every show you go to. You know, that's a little different, but you got to keep the full-time job. I got health benefits. I have a family. I have, you know, a dog, and I got a pension and all that good stuff. So to turn that down, I'd have to be making some life-changing money for sure.
I tell people all the time, I work so hard so my dog can have a good life. I mean, because it's like, I'm working full time. I'm doing this. It's pretty much like a full-time job. I mean, like, I don't know how the vendors do it, like with the price changes and everything else. I mean, like, I guess if you're watching the market, you kind of know, and then you're doing your comps, you have some kind of idea. But are you ever like someone just got something from under you? Do you ever feel like you were ripped off?
Sometimes you lose in this market. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely times you lose. You can't foresee what the market's going to do. I mean, Pokemon's a little bit crazy. I actually think right now, and not many people are talking about it, a few people are, we're in a market retracement right now. The past 2 to 3 weeks, we've been, you know, seeing some of the stuff that was rallying here going up, you know, 300 to 500% is starting to come back down. And I noticed yesterday, I actually had a conversation earlier. I noticed yesterday that people seemed like pretty scared, and they were trying to move out of certain big cards that you were 3 weeks ago they wouldn't sell. Wasn't happening. Not for sale in the booth. So you do lose, but honestly, it's not going anywhere, and everything always trends upwards eventually. So it doesn't hurt to hold. If you go through a bear market and you hold tight and just, you know, make your small wins as they come, it's fine. With vendors prepare for it. If you really care about your business or, you know, your hobby and your collection, like, you prepare for it. You know when it's coming. You can see the signs. If Pokemon puts out 3 bad sets in a row, and social media is dumping and the prices on eBay are starting, TCG players starting to go down, like, you can pretty much prepare and get ready for the long winter. So, but that's not coming for a while, I don't think. I think we got some time on this bull run.
Do you sell online? Do you on eBay or TCG Player?
I've sold pretty much everywhere that you could humanly think of. I had a website, Wave headquarters was up for a couple years. Took it down because I made the move onto Whatnot. I did the Whatnot thing. I've done eBay forever. For the last 5 years, I've sold on eBay. eBay's tough though. The fees suck. And once you get a taste of vending, and you know, I'm off the internet now. I just vend. That's it.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of vending?
You know what got me addicted? So I went to Orlando. No, or was it Jersey? I went to Jersey, and I was buying a piece of property with my wife, so I needed to get rid of some of my collection. I took like $8,000 worth of PSA 10 Charizards. I was collecting every Charizard from every set, basically. And I was like, I'm just going to offload all the Zards. And I went there, and the back and forth with vendors became a challenge, like to get the percentage that I wanted. And I got addicted to the negotiating. So like once I got a taste of that, now like when people come to my table, some people don't like it. Like a couple of my buddies, they feel intimidated, but I bring it on. Like I'm all for the back and forth, and you know, it's fun to me. That's been a blast, like negotiating. Sometimes it's annoying. Some people can be like a little disrespectful, but the negotiating's fun. I like working out a deal or working out a trade. Like I still trade. I just traded with Death Metal Charizard, like straight value, hits for hits, liquid for liquid. You know, yeah, he's the man. I feel bad. He just got his account hacked. He lost.
What?
Yeah, he lost his main. Yeah, he lost his main Instagram. He lost his Facebook. He's had his whole life. All that. He had to make the backup account.
Yeah.
He's the man. He's on tour.
I thought it happened again. He wasn't able to make it yesterday, and then he's sending a friend from Albany for March. I'm really excited to meet him.
Oh, good.
His friend said that he told me his friend can't move ponchos. I said, you can't move ponchos. You got to come to New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be able to move them for you. There's a lot of moving ponchos in the New Jersey TCG show. So
a lot of high-end cards get moved at your show for sure.
I can't believe it. That's the thing I keep on saying over and over again, like, where's all the money coming from? Because it's not like we're getting stimulus checks. They're just people that are, I don't know, maybe they've had it in a mattress somewhere, but they
North Jersey, New York, there's a lot of money, a lot of good salaries, a lot of good jobs out here. A lot of people work very hard. So there's, you know, we're blessed to be in an area. I call it like, we're definitely in the big three, you know, for the Pokemon hobby. LA is another big scene. Texas has a huge scene. Jersey's like top three, especially North Jersey. So it's kind of cool to like be in like a mecca of something finally. You know, I'm from South Jersey where there's nothing. We got a nice beach, you know, but there's no cool like, you know, city stuff that goes on or sports teams or anything. Go Birds, by the way. Go Birds. But yeah,
I mean, we could do a show down there. I mean, like the Wildwood show that was down there. That was good.
That's like 5 minutes for me. We should bring NJTCG down here. It could be crazy, especially if we do it and plan it and try to get it done in the summer where the city's packed. You know,
so like that's the thing. I'm like, do people go to card shows if they're on vacation?
I think they
would. Would they plan to go? I mean, I don't know. I'm all new to it. I only know how to build the scene within where I am. So I'm very hopeful for this new show that we're going to have in Pennsylvania in a couple months or in like 8 months. We'll see. I've done a lot of market research in that area, or like talk to people in that area, and they all come to my show. And so it's interesting to see that people are willing to drive an hour and a half to go to a TCG show because they don't have anything close. And I want people to have as much access to this as possible. And I want them to come, and
they would drive a lot farther.
I didn't hear what you said.
An hour and a half's nothing. They'll drive a lot farther than that.
Yeah, I mean, like
it's the truth.
Like I want people to have access to shows and cards, and I want people to be able to sell their cards, because there's a lot of cards that are just sitting there in people's, closets and their drawers, and they're not getting sold, or they don't know where to do it or how to do it. So I think that especially if I have a community of vendors that are going to be traveling with me or willing to go somewhere with me, or people that I trust that are going to be selling with me in another area, I think it'll be really, really good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. And you market the way you've been marketing and find out your little ways to do it better. I'm always, trying to find out a better way to do things. I think you and I have a lot of similarities when it comes to marketing and stuff. So
just do everything. Just throw it at the wall and see what
this podcast, even the podcast like that you're doing now, it's important. You got to take a piece of everything, and it all combines at once in the algorithm. Right. And there's a reason why, I told you this a couple months ago. I think that it's going to be a lot bigger than you could even imagine. You just can't fathom it right now, but it's going to be. It's going to be one of the big shows here. It's already bigger than I could have imagined, and it's I still love it. I still love it, and that's the thing that I'm like you, that like when something sucks, I don't want to do it anymore, right? Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, like once it stops feeling good, I don't want to do it anymore. But I mean, like I'm very, very extremely fortunate that it hasn't sucked yet. I mean, like I've we have it's a wave, right? Like we've got really great times, and we've got really shitty times. And right now it's kind of like we're up here, and we're I'm ready to see what's next. I mean, like the podcast is something that kind of was born from people asking me the same questions, like how do I get into vending? What do I do to vend? And how do I become a vendor? And I was like, what? Let me talk to vendors about vending, and having people have a little bit of insight about how they started and what they're doing and how they continue to do this and what makes them successful. And I think that a lot of people have gotten things out of it that wouldn't have asked these questions or had the chance to ask you or Joey or any of the people that I've had on here, like especially social media. Like, how do you get started in social media? What works for you? What doesn't work for you? Like, let me tell you what mistakes I've made so you don't have to do them. And that's part of the reason why I'm so kind of like thorough with my emails that come out to the vendors. It's like the things that I've mentioned in these emails are because there have been things that have come up, like make sure that you have wipes for your case, and make sure that you have a Band-Aid, and like things because it's always things that like I was not prepared for. Slicing my hand with the
bring the first aid kit.
Yeah, like being a nurse, I think that I'm prepared for a lot of shit, but I sliced my hand with a scissor before the first Bridgewater show back in December. And of course it's the first time everyone's there, so no one knows where anything is. And Marilyn, where's the bathroom? Marilyn, where's my table? Marilyn, where's that? And I'm gushing blood, and I'm holding my hand up, and I'm like, guys, give me 5 minutes. My hand, I'm bleeding, because the show must go on. And that was someone asked me that the other night, because it was snowing on Saturday night, and they said that a show in the area had canceled because of weather. And I said, that's interesting that their venue is that flexible.
Chat saying fall/winter Atlantic City could do good as well. Where's the PA show? When are the details coming out? Someone's asking. Personal Pokédex, what up?
Hey, Ryan. Is that Ryan? That's Ryan, right? Or
Personal
are we not
Pokédex
using names?
Is Al Hill.
Oh. When is the information for the PA show has been released? I released it yesterday, or was it today? It's going to be in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Yeah, it's Allentown, Pennsylvania. It's going to be
I didn't see it.
Oh, it's on the new calendar. We've added a couple dates to the calendar. I have a mix show that I'm doing with Emu. It's a smaller mix show. It's April 19th at a Elks Lodge, and it's going to be 100 tables, so it's 50 TCG and 50 sports.
Oh, nice.
Then we have the 2-day shows on there. We had to change our date in August. We were August 3rd, and now we're going to be August 24th. And then I added the October 25th show, which is going to be Allentown, Pennsylvania, Delta Hotel. There's enough room for 180 tables. So we'll see what we could do. I mean, like we had 140, and I could probably, I don't know if we could squeeze the Bridgewater 20 more tables into the Bridgewater, but maybe.
Yeah.
But that space, I don't know if it would allow for that many more tables, but it was
pretty maxed out, right?
Yeah. I mean, like in the main ballroom, there was a little bit of space between tables, but I don't know. I don't know if I want that smoke.
Collecticon, I was pretty bummed out with like how close I was to other people vending. Like my corner of the table was butted up with someone else's. So if he's reaching across, he's in my area. I can't even access my case while he's reaching across the cards that he had on his table. So, having space is kind of a big deal for vendors. You don't want to be too packed in.
Yeah. I mean, like I understand that it's important for vendors and even the attendees, but also I would say, I don't know, anyone that knew that they were going to have a little bit of space brought an extra table.
Yeah.
So is that, like, I don't know. I mean, like you're bringing an extra table, that's enough. And if half of the vendors are bringing extra tables, that's enough space so I can actually get some vendors in there.
Yeah. I really liked how you had the layout. This last show was really nice.
Yeah.
It felt spacey. There was room to get through between, the hallways there because your shows are busy. So I've noticed like, sometimes you don't want to be rubbing my big old belly on someone's back as I'm trying to walk past them.
I know. I get it. I totally get it. But also like you give people space and they take it. And it would be just a matter of time before those tables are taken up by people who bring their own tables.
Yeah, no, that's a no-no.
I mean, like, I've done it before, like that. I mean, like that's always the
Collecticon doesn't. They don't allow you. They'll charge you for that. You start bringing in your own tables and stuff. I think it's like $125 fine.
Yeah,
you pay for it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some things that, again, like with my strict rules, I mean, I try to keep a tight ship because as soon as you start letting things slip, then things start slipping. And these extra tables, I think that they're going to be my next thing. And I don't, I have to figure out how to address things because there's always backlash. Right? It's always like, why, you never made me do this before. And like, why is it like this? And it's not like this at other places. And
they have to understand the business and respect it. It is what it is. My wife runs a hair salon and, she owns it. And I understand the struggle sometime where you want to like please the customer, but at the same time, you got to put your foot down, because if you give someone an inch, she'll take a mile. So someone asked, if there's a vendor wait list on some of the shows coming up, do you offer a wait list or if people back out or how's that work?
I don't usually, or I have done a wait list before, but because of the huge demand, people want to know where they are in the wait list and how many people are ahead of them. And then they want to know how long until they're next on the wait list. It's impossible. I mean, like it's very rare that someone drops unless it's an absolute emergency. We had two late and they weren't able to vend. And then we had 2 no-shows for yesterday. And we were we were very fortunate that someone who had never vended before came up to me and said, "Hey, do you mind if I jump on this table?" And I could not believe that someone who had never vended before had the balls to do that. And I just said, absolutely, you can. And he had one of those teeny tiny Zion cases. it's not like he had money. I mean, like he had the money that he came in with. It's not like he had change with him. And he and his girlfriend used half a table and they vended on it with just their cards. And they had,
awesome.
No plexiglass, no binders, nothing. They had just their cards and their Zion case, and they loved it. And they're on the list now. They're welcome to come back in May because they jumped in. They absolutely helped me. And because I don't want an empty table.
Right. No, you don't.
And like, that's part of the reason why I want everyone in the building by 8:00. So if I know that you're going to be a no-show, then I can call someone. I've had people do that too, but yesterday was entirely too busy. There was too much going on between 8:15 and 8:45 that I was not able to call someone in. So we kind of like just told people that they could take over the tables that were around, but
I seen Jodo Giraffe ended up moving to the main room or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was curious. I was like, oh, I wonder what happened. Like, cause he was in our hallway, I thought.
Right. Yeah. He
when
was
I originally saw the lineup.
Yeah. He was in your hallway. There was a mess up on my part. He needed 2 tables. I only put him down for 1. And then the person who was at the table that he ended up going at, they ended up dropping last minute. So I was able to kind of like compromise with him. I was able to move him, and then he was willing to take the 1 table. So that worked out. And then, there were a couple other things, but it was all in all, it was a great show. But long story long, I do not usually take a wait list just because it's too much to maintain when there's
first come, first serve.
It's really just first come, first serve, because the trying to get in touch with the top person on the wait list, it's always impossible because I need someone that's going to jump in last minute. And I just put something out on Instagram. It's like, is anyone available this coming Saturday? I had someone drop, and if the first person to respond and pay me. Because some people say, "Oh yeah, I'll do it," and then they ghost you for 6 hours, and you need the answer now because it's the most stress that I'm going to be under is like within the last 3 days before a show. So I just need someone to fill a spot. But to get on, what's the best way to get a table? That's the number one question that everyone's been asking me, is that I allow all the vendors that are returning to have their spots back. That allows for not a lot of spots to be open. So when it's open to the general population, I usually put something out on Instagram. I also usually send out an email to all of my previous vendors, say, hey, we have this new show coming out, or we have this, the tables are going to be opening up. You got to look out for it. And once they're open, they're open. And then once they're closed, that's it. Like I said, I can't keep a wait list. And sometimes people get like, they're kind of like the in between. They've registered, but then they weren't able to get a table. And then I'll keep them kind of as the first backup wait list. But if you don't, you have to register and pay right away in order to get your table. It's too competitive right now, and I can't chase people. And that's something that I've had to do in the past. And that's another thing that we're coming up on now, that people that I've kind of given a lot of leeway to, I just can't anymore. I shouldn't have to, I should have never had to, but I can't now.
Yeah. Understandable.
I'm like, I know you get it. You're on it. You're like,
the only time I'm not is if I miss it. Like, I usually see a bunch of your stuff, but I didn't. Last night was busy, so if you posted, or this morning I was trying to get some inventory back together after the show. But usually I try to stay on it because I know how it is. They sell out. Tables sell out. It just is what it is. And they sell out 2 months before the show. Yeah. So if you guys are in the chat and you're vending, you gotta be on top of it. And some of the vendors they don't want me to have the booking out so far in advance because they don't want to commit to it. But my dates have been posted since the beginning of the year, and I've just added dates because I want to make sure that I know what I'm doing. And would you allow a vendor to pay for the whole year, or you just want to open it?
I would, because like if you're coming back, I mean, I'd be happy
probably
to
might want
have
to
you
work something out with you like that, just
Yeah, I
because,
mean, like if you wanted to commit to your spot and like that's it,
Mhm.
I mean, I would love that. You're actually the second person to ask me about that, like an annual pass for a vendor.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's really not a bad idea, but it's also.
Did you post for May 18th? Is that
No,
ready to go?
no,
Not yet.
no,
Okay.
no. May's not up yet. I'm trying to get through March. We're we're getting closer, and I'm kind of negotiating with the venue to see if I can get any more space,
Oh,
because
okay.
that could be a possibility. But
Yeah, so I never even thought about that. You trying to get extra rooms and stuff could change, your overhead and what, table prices and how many vendors you can have. So it doesn't make sense to open it up for payment at least too early. I get it.
Right. Yeah, things change very quickly, especially when you're working with venues and they see if you're making money, because they're all over my social media. I mean, like I know that they're watching me and they're looking at how much tables are and everything else. So I'm not shocked when I have a show somewhere, and then the next time I want to book a show, the price has gone up, and it's because of some weird excuse that they give me.
Right.
But it's happened at every single venue. So
I've heard stories of that happening.
Yeah. Between that and having the venue not be able to commit to dates for me, it's hard, but that's also why I'm able to keep the calendar the way I do, or I try to. All right, enough talking. I'm doing a lot of talking here. What what shows do you have lined up after this past weekend?
So we're going to hit Orlando Collecticon. We're locked in with you guys in March, the 2-day show, which we're excited for in April. We'll probably grab a hotel room. And we're definitely going to do the May show. I was just informed from my buddy from the Personal Pokédex of a few shows to try Philly, because Philly's an hour from me. I haven't done a show in Philly yet, so I think we're going to head out there. I've been working on something behind the scenes, little branding reboot / super team I'm trying to put together of awesome guys and vendors, and we're working on something special, so stay on the lookout for that. But I'm trying to do 2 shows a month. I think that's, it's kind of the sweet spot for me to not get burnout. Before, when I was doing streaming, it was like a couple days a week. Then you got a couple of days of shipping, and it just gets crazy. We were doing 5-hour, 6-hour live streams on YouTube. People would go to sleep, wake up, I'm still live. So as long as I don't experience burnout, that's like super important for me. I just want to continue to have fun. But yeah, we got some shows up and coming, and I'm super active on it on Instagram. So if you guys want to, check out my Instagram at PokeWave, you'll get all the updates for the upcoming shows. Yeah, busy.
So, PokeWave on Instagram. You have a YouTube channel? Yes, PokeWave on YouTube. PokeWave TikTok. On TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you doing any live streaming anywhere, or are you kind of taking a break from that?
So I don't. A co-owner or something of Drip came up to me at Collecticon and said that they've been trying to get in contact with me, which I ended up missing. It was in my requests to do they sponsor live stream for me on their website, but I'm still kind of in negotiations for that and what we want to do. I might do that, but that'll probably just be a one-off. The streaming stuff I got a sour taste because I did it for all those years, and it's just I burnt myself out so fast, and I had to go on a 6 to 12 month get off the internet, and I don't want to do that again. It just becomes a lot. I need it to continue to be fun, and so does everyone else. So do you. So I like vending. Vending is nice. I do my shorts. I edit my clips. I do my little stories with going on vacations, food reviews, or just music I'm listening to, whatever. Like, I like where I'm at now and what I'm doing now. So that's probably what I'm going to hone in on, you know, in the upcoming year for sure.
Yeah, I really enjoy your content. I think that I definitely saw your content before I saw you or I met you in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because your editing is good. So you do all your own editing?
I do it all myself. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, like it's or attention getting. So I'm like, all right, I'm locked in when I see your videos. I'm always watching. I watch the end because
it's funny to me. Like, even in Atlanta, this blew my mind. There was people coming to my table like, and I'm introducing myself, and they're like, "I know who you are." I'm like, "What? Ow!" And they're like, "Just, I guess, I don't know, the Pokemon stuff. The algorithm's taking it. People are seeing the shorts and stuff." I've been liking the short stuff, like just doing the 20-second to minute 20-second clips of, you know, sales or me going out buying or whatever I'm doing, filming Waka Flocka or something, like whatever, you know. I've been liking the shorts content, so that's probably what I'm really going to dive into here and doing these shows and trying to make cool clips of, you know, the awesome shows we go to. And videos kill me when you grade like a PSA 6 and you scream no. Yeah. Or that's what I do. I'll get a PSA return and I'll try to like not look at the grade so I can do like, I'm pretty high energy. So like I'll do a raw, like, all right, let's see what we got. And then I'll get the card that I think's a 10 and it comes out a 6 and I freak the hell out. That's what Tyler's talking about.
Yeah. All right, last question. What was the best part about New Jersey TCG show yesterday? I'm like, hype me up a little bit. What was I'm also going to ask you what the worst part was because I'm sure there was a worst part.
I got a worst part. Best part. Let me think about. Well, no, because someone came up was selling fake cards.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was selling fake cards, and I was involved of catching the guy that sold the fake card. And then, you know, there's this battle when someone does something like that where, like, you want to believe them that, you know, oh, I bought it off whatnot. I didn't know. But then there's like, you know, the side where you just don't believe him. You're like, get the F out of here, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to get the card back. And I was like, give me the card now.
Yeah.
And then he gave it to me, did a loop, and then came back and apologized. But I don't know. Like, that's what, yeah, people are crazy. People are nuts, whether he knew or not. Some people were saying, you know, maybe he didn't know, whatever. I didn't like that he wanted the card back because then he'll just go trade it to a vendor that isn't you know, when you have 10 people in front of your table, especially if you have people working for you, if they're not, you know, had the keen eye and can see it, like the guy next to me, the way it started was he traded for the card.
Oh.
So the trade happened. And we were able to catch him. The guy was leaving, and he showed it to me real quick. And I said, no. So then he yelled at the guy, and then we got the guy to come back. But the trade happened.
Did you have him on camera?
Around that corner, I got to look at the footage still. I probably do. I probably have a straight angle of it. I got to look. But if he made it around those doors, unless the vendor left his table or we had someone chase after him, he made the trade with the fake Gengar. So, but honestly, my favorite part of the shows, you know what I love? I love seeing like some of the vendors like come in and say, what's up? Like, I love seeing Ron. Ron's the man. He got my day going good because I came in and I saw the new graded guards. He had them. And I was like, damn, I was really sick and I missed the drop. And I was so pissed because I love graded guards. And he's like, yo, you want 4 of them? And then he gave them to me for such a great price. I'm like, you are the man. So that got me amped up to start. So now I'm walking in a great mood. And I love seeing Retro Pete. I love seeing, you know, Ditto Dudes and all the guys come in. So I love when Head of Lettuce starting to get a good relationship with him. I'll be next to him, I think, in March. We're right next to each other, so I'm excited to vend with him. I like meeting these guys and seeing them, so that gets me all amped up. And then
I don't think so. I gotta look at my I don't know. I gotta look now.
I was right next to him. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
I know. I may have.
No, you're gonna have me looking now.
I know. I don't. I was actually gonna send out any. Oh no!
Well, one of the shows.
You're there.
I think I'm next to him.
You're there. You're next to him in March.
I'm excited to work next to him guessing. Too.
Sometimes you gotta move people. You just gotta do.
You can put me wherever. I don't care. We're gonna be.
No,
moving
I mean, like I'm actually
in the bathroom, we'd be all right.
No, I was really happy that you didn't complain about your spot that you were in, but I knew that you'd be able to hold it down. That spot, yeah. I mean, like it's a little far back, but yeah. I just knew you weren't even vending yet when you booked that. now that I'm like, now that I know your history, I don't know. I guess it was your content. I had a feeling that you were going to be able to hold your own in that back corner. And
we did well.
You and the table right next, and the whole back area, I think that everyone did well because like I say to everyone, you're the product. There's no bad spots. But Joey told me that that's not true at Collecticon. But at New Jersey TCG show, there's no bad spots.
That's not true. I don't regret the trip. I had a great time. I got to hang out with people that, we ended up making like better relationships with, and it's going to be, super fruitful for the future for both parties and stuff. So the networking was amazing. We didn't lose money going there, but God, man, NJTCG show, we were cleaning up. So it's like, what's the point?
Right.
What's the point? Joey was pissed. I saw him at the show, like, man, like visibly like ready to rip someone's head off. And I'm like, let me go talk to this guy. But
well, it's good to you guys knew each other down there, so it wasn't like a complete.
So it's just a vibe. Like my favorite part is just the vibe of it. Like the boys are ripping fireball shots in the parking lot before we go in for good luck, and we go.
Your in there guys, you are in the morning.
Our guys.
7 o'clock.
7 in the morning. Go look at my Instagram. I'm posting them ripping shots right in the parking lot. So we just vibe out in there. We just have a blast.
I'd be like having headaches. You guys don't have headaches, and like you start drinking and then you stop drinking.
Story. They had an entire bottle of Advil with them, and they were ripping them throughout the show. So, would you say that Collecticon is worth vending as a new vendor, financially speaking, with travel and hotels, saves clean? All right, so this is, and I'll find out because I'm newer, so I'll know more by May. But I'll say this. I fly South by Southwest. I'm a rewards member. I'm running up the points on the credit card to try to save on fee, on the flight fees. Same with Hilton. I'm a Hilton rewards member, so I try to save on that. So all those little things add up. You got to really think about that. Where you're eating. I took my wife to Atlanta. All right. That trip was awesome, but where were we first night in Atlanta? Ruth Chris. So we're $200 dinner right off the rip. So
that's why I thought you did well in Atlanta, because I saw what you were eating.
Man, and listen, I love myself a nice $200 steak, so I gotta chill. But if you're like paying attention, go out, get some local barbecue or something like we did night 2 with Desi and the guys. Like if you do that, you can make them a trip in the green. You can make it happen, but you got to be smart. And I do think the table prices are fair. They're okay. They're a little pricey, but they're fair for the amount of people that do come in. But locals in New Jersey are definitely, if you're just speaking financially, the most smart move that you could make, for sure.
Where you live, Ray? You live in New Jersey? You live in the area? Does it make more sense for you to come to New Jersey TCG show than go to a Collecticon? That might be the move. Yeah. We had a lot of people come from out of state, come for the Bridgewater show, and I like you said, I think that we're going to see more and more people start traveling to our shows just because
No, they're going to, especially like social media. You're a product of it, and you'll see, as you grow and the people, the big vendors start coming that have the tens and thousands and 30,000 followers, and they really start promoting. It's, that's when stuff really starts picking up, and that's what the best thing Collecticon, I guess, had going for it was, they're bringing in the big voice actors and doing live performances from artists and Jason Page and this and that, and their vendors that tour with them. That means they're going to all 20 shows. They have huge social media followings, and people will, if they're within a 5-hour radius, they will travel to go see them. They will.
That's one thing that kind of got me. Well, I had someone come from Orange County, New York the other day.
There you go.
And
New York's not far.
Yeah, it's not that far.
Bad.
The guy
I'll drive 2 hours. So
the guy is coming from Albany for March. So it might not. You want to put in New Jersey TCG show? Check us out on Instagram and just see the how far it is from you. Maybe we can get you a table for the summer. We never know. There might be more tables available during the summer because people are doing collecticons. People are doing their own personal traveling, so there might be more availability. We do not have anything scheduled for June and July because I was scared of Collecticon. I didn't know when it was going to be.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to.
Collecticon Jersey is going to be a monster. It's going to be a monster.
I didn't know
everyone's going.
I didn't know when it was going to be, so I didn't want to have any conflicting dates. But I also am fully aware that a lot of people aren't getting as many Collecticon tables in other places. So we might be looking at June and July. And today, actually, we had an opportunity to look at a bigger venue.
Nice.
In even northern Jersey. I don't know if we're gonna go there. We got to see what the budget is, but it's looking like it'll be a nice place, a really nice place for us to grow. But we'll see. We a lot of like I'm not really sure because you don't know about the market in 6 months or a year, and like if vendors don't want to vend anymore or people don't want to come out, or you don't want to have 180 table or 180 table show booked and then no one show up. But I don't know. I think that we're okay. Maybe.
My opinion is we're going to be fine for a while. I mean, you got pretty much the next 2 sets we kind of know about. Just speaking in the Pokemon universe, and that's the majority of the people that vend at your shows. The next 2 sets are some heavy hitters. I mean, these are sets that are, running, a lot of the hype coming up with this new Rocket set, Destined Rivals. That's in summer. And then there's been, Pokey Beach. This is nerd stuff, so you might not know what I'm talking about. But they put out the data mines or whatever of mega sets and black and white coming back. The 30th anniversary is next year. So I think we're going to be rallying here for a while. This wasn't like a Black Swan event with stimulus checks and COVID and people are inside, just like looking for content and stuff to consume. Like this is a full-blown, in my opinion, like organic, raw, like love for the hobby. And I think that, with small retracements, which are healthy, we're going to be moving and grooving for the next year and a half. So my opinion, it could die tomorrow. Who knows? But that's just what I think. So,
I hope not. I mean, like I also think that what we're building here is something that's not going to go away immediately. At least I hope not.
Yeah.
I mean, anything could happen at any time, but also just, I really like the community that we're building together. The people that keep on coming back and they want to see the vendors. They want to just make new friends. Like that's something that I really enjoy. Just like people who you wouldn't normally be friends with, or you wouldn't have thought that you could be friends with them, I guess. Or that sounds like a kind of weird statement, but like, but your typical circle of friends that you might be hanging out with, but then you'll meet someone who might be someone outside of your circle and you have this connection. It's really nice to see. And I've definitely made a ton of these connections just being a part of the show.
Yeah, me too. And there's a few people I want you to meet. And possibly if you want to, we're up to doing an interview with them, people that have been in the hobby a lot longer than I have, that have a lot more wisdom of like those like couple year spans where the hobby's dead and they've been around and done shows and done live streaming through the whole thing. So I do want you to meet them, and they are vending with you. The personal Pokédex guys. You might have.
I know. They didn't do the show.
You might know the name.
They know them. I'm like, I know them.
They did January. Tour. He's in the chat now. He was there. His co-owner, I guess, or however they want to label it. He wasn't. He was sick. He had the.
For it. I'm really happy the way it's going, and it's. So yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, good things to come. Good things to come.
We've gone way over. I feel like
I didn't know there was a time limit. I had no idea.
Well, typically when people are going to be on, I usually say it's going to be about an hour. So we've gone way over.
We almost hit the deuce.
I know. There's so much more that I would like to pick your brain about, especially when it comes to vending, and especially like someone who's newer. What advice would you give to someone who was brand new?
So I would say this. I'm the type of person that goes 100% right off the bat. So you even said earlier in this interview, you would have had no idea that I was new to it because I spent money for marketing, my brand, my logos, my everything, my tables. I came immediately right off the deck. I did not I got nice cases, nice camera, nice tablecloths. I had T-shirts with staff logos on it, with the logo on the back. I had, pretty much everything that you wanted. I knew, I did my homework. So that's important. I would say if you want to do it, do it right. Don't half-ass it. And I reached out to people when I first started. I hit up Grogu Cards. I hit up Bulbasaur. I hit up the people I was watching. And most of them answered me and gave me great advice. Price all your stuff out before the show. Do not sit at your table and price for 2 hours as the show's running. Have it done. Have your prices visible. That's a big thing. And, there's a few apps that are basically game changers. The Alt app, ALT, that's huge for on the dot, scan a PSA slab, a BGS slab, a CGC slab, and get all the data right there, last solds, all that important stuff that you need to know. I use an app called Price Charting, TCG Player. Have these apps ready, be familiar with them, things of that nature. So, those are probably the big hints. Just, look as professional as you can, do some homework, take it serious, be professional. That's it. Don't be nervous.
Be on time.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. I came into the first show, and I was a little nervous, but once I got behind the table, I knew I had to present myself a certain way. So that's just what we did. We act professional as we can. We do joke, we do have fun, but I don't want to be like someone come up to my table. I hate when I go up to a table and they're looking down at their phone. I'm immediately mad. My friends yell at me all the time because I can be like a D-head sometimes, and I'll get mad at people. And don't waste my time.
When's your birthday? I need to know.
September 17th, Virgo.
Oh, okay.
Virgo.
I'm like, because a lot of the ways we're very, very similar. So I'm like,
big Virgo. Shouts out to all the Virgos in the chat. I see a few of them in here right now. What's up, Renna? Oh no, Renna's a Leo. Never mind. Get out of here, Renna. You're a bum. Your girl's a Virgo, though. Shouts out to her.
Shout out to your girl, Renna.
Yeah, shouts out to Renna's girl. Yeah, so yeah. And if you guys ever have questions, hit me up on Instagram because I'll answer whatever. People message me all the time. Literally, you can ask me any vending questions you want. I'll let you know. Book your tables ahead of time. Do not play around with the show organizers' time or money, and make good relationships with them because they're the ones essentially that put the money in your pocket.
Listen to this one. Yeah,
That's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got to be nice to us because, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna leave it.
That's it.
It doesn't make sense not to be, because like I don't know. I mean, like, and
Respect is king.
I'm not your boss, but we have to work together.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So
and I appreciate the podcast. If you want to have me on in the future, I'm around. So
yeah.
I saw Ditto Dude's got the 2 for 2. I want one in a couple months.
Well, we had a lot going on the week before, so I needed something that was familiar.
Yeah, if you ever,
I also
put me in, coach, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I had two people cancel on me that week, and it just came at a good time because it was like Monday I did a podcast, and then my like Wednesday and Friday people canceled on me on like Tuesday morning. And I was like, all right, I could scramble. But then some events happened and I like mentally bandwidth, I wasn't there. So when I was ready to start it back up again, Joey was available and willing. So it was good. So, but thank you so much. I'm looking forward to having you with us, vending at all the shows, and maybe we could do something down south. I mean, like I'd like to expand to different places within New Jersey. I think that it would be cool to have a destination show.
Coming south would be awesome. Let's talk in the future about Atlantic City or Wildwood. Atlantic City has a bigger population and the casinos are there, so there's a lot of places for people to stay. And to be honest, I think people would really enjoy a card show, and then the night at the casino, like a trade night in a casino would be crazy.
Is it going to just be vendors going to other vendors, or is it going to be people who are coming to the show? Because I think a huge barrier that a lot of people don't really think about is parking and paying for parking. Yeah. And I think paying for $20 a day for parking is going to be a huge barrier for people, although they can go and spend $5,000 at a show. It's a speed bump. It's something that they don't necessarily want to do.
A lot of casino parking, valets $20. You can park for $5 a day. So it's not too bad. And maybe, I don't know how they run their ballrooms and stuff. Maybe there's an option through you, the organizer, where you can run a bundle, like they get a parking pass for whatever. I don't know how the back end works.
I think I need to talk to someone with experience with booking shows in Atlantic City, just because I want people to have as easy as a time as possible. That's why here, like huge parking lots are part of like what I look for when I'm booking a show. And I thought that the Bridgewater show would be able to accommodate way more than it kind of can. And also I think the weather kind of had a piece of that. But yeah, like parking, it's something in New Jersey.
Atlantic City has a big convention center, though. They have a huge parking lot. Same with Wildwood. There's plenty of parking. Plenty.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I never want anyone to have any barriers to walking in the door. So that's but we'll
understandable. See. Hey, it's all risk, right?
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. We'll see. But thank you so much, and I look forward to working with you more in the future. And thank you for everyone that stuck around for nearly 2 hours. We're the TCG show, and
there's some 2-hour warriors in the chat here,
right? Please like and subscribe and follow us on social media, and you get all our show updates.
All right. See you later. Thanks for having me. Peace out, chat.
All right. Bye.
Bye.